What's going on, guys? Good morning again. Welcome to another video. Today we're talking about Glassdoor and how it can benefit you. So what is Glassdoor? If you don't know what Glassdoor is, it's a job site where you can actually apply to jobs, but I think it's more used as a site where you can go and look up company reviews, look up salaries for people that are there, and then look up interview questions from people that have applied there, have been rejected, or didn't accept the offer, or people that did accept the offer. So I think it's just kind of a neat, it's helped me. When I got my very first job as an engineer, I looked on Glassdoor, and there were a lot of comments about what kind of interview questions you had. There were, logic tests, and when I went to the actual interview, it was pretty much standard copy and paste, do this. And I would say the same goes for a lot of tech companies. They'll be like, oh, they made me do FizzBuzz. Oh, they made me do a binary search tree. So then you can kind of have like a heads up on things that they'll probably ask you. Or, even if they don't ask you, you could be like, yeah, I prepared for this because I was doing some research, and companies love to hear that. I was doing some research. Let's talk about salary here for a second. How to negotiate salary. You're gonna sit down, and they're gonna be like, so how much are you looking to get? What's your range? And don't be the first one to answer. Every company is gonna lowball you. They want to get the maximum bang for their buck, right? So it's your job not to reveal what you're willing to take at that point. So this is what you say. You say, well, what's your budget for the position? And maybe we can work inside of that. And then they'll probably be like, well, what's the range that you want? Yeah, it's awkward. Yeah, I get it. It's going to be like, if you're like, well, can you just tell me the budget that you're looking for? I mean, we have to make sure that we're a match, right? So what's the budget for the position? And so either they'll tell you or they won't tell you. And if they don't tell you, then you can just give some number that's like maybe 20% more than what you actually wanted. But what you need to do is not give away your lowest bare bone number right away. Don't do that. And so how do you know how much you should make if it's your first job? Well, you need to go to Glassdoor, which is what we're going to do here in a second. You need to go to the area that you're located in. You need to type in the position name and then go ahead and look at the average salaries for that area, or go to the company that you're applying to and then look to see what the other people are there. Now, just from my experience, I've noticed that the average salary on Glassdoor is I would say between 5 to 8% higher than what you're actually going to get offered, because there's people that have been working there for a while, that have been raises, that have gotten raises, and so it tends to trend a little up to what you're probably going to get as a fresh new worker at that company. It depends on how big the company is, but that's how you want to look at salary. That's how you want to know what you're worth. You want to get fair market value at least, if not a little bit more if you can. I mean, if they're willing to negotiate. If the company is not willing to negotiate, their offer better be above fair market value, and they have to be aware that their offer is fair market value, because you can go to any other company and when you get an offer, you can be like, all right, well, look, I'm going to counter at this because this is what I need to pay my bills and be able to, go see a movie once in a while, which I think any reasonable company these days should do. Now, another thing about interviewing, a lot of people ask me, what should you prepare for an interview? What should you start learning? So go to the company on Glassdoor.com, look at the interview section. I'll show you here in a second, but you'll look at the interview section, you'll look at the different questions that people have been asked, and then you'll see if they had, it'll say no offer given, rejected offer, or accepted offer, and you can see what type of interview questions that they had, simple, one of the questions I remember for the engineering job was a candle is burning something, and then they asked me that exact question. I knew the answer to it. Another thing you'll see is it might not be an exact question that they got asked, but it could be they're really high on their values. Make sure that you say you match with your values. You want to be 100%, all about their values. Well, and then I got there and I'm like, well, what do you know about our values? And I had it down pat. And so this is just a great way to go and really get a good idea of what you're looking at the company. It's a great way to prepare for the questions that you might not know otherwise. You can only get so much information on their website. So go to Glassdoor. What you're going to need to do is you have to register, you have to sign in, and then you have to make a review at some company that you've worked at, and then it will let you see all of the other reviews and salaries and all that stuff. But they make you leave at least one review before they unlock it for you. I guess it's to keep the reviews genuine so companies can't spoof. Another thing is that you might see a rating, and you have to remember that people that are upset are a vocal minority. The people that are generally happy don't go on Glassdoor and leave happy reviews, but people that are upset go on Glassdoor and leave unsatisfied reviews. They leave low and negative reviews, which can skew. I mean, just think about it. How often you go and you have a great experience, I know that there's going to be someone else, well, I do that. How often do you go and have a great experience and then you go right away and you like leave a referral or a recommendation? Like, yeah, I'm sure some people do it, but the majority of people are just like, wow, that was a nice experience. And then they go on, they go about their life. But if you have a bad experience, you're going to go home and you're going to be like, this was garbage, this was crap, I'm never coming here again. I want to talk to the management. Is there any way we can get our money back? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, that tends to happen a lot more often than people going, just being pleasantly happy or satisfied and then leaving a review like, that meal was satisfying. I'm talking about restaurants specifically, but that meal was very satisfying. The food was good. Like, no one really does that. I mean, I'm sure there are people that leave like big tips or go to the manager and be like, oh, our waitress was great or something like that. But just overall, when you're looking at ratings on Glassdoor, remember that these numbers are skewed based on a vocal minority. I've seen a bunch of companies that have, fired people or let people go, and those people were just upset. They were like, this is harassment, this is discrimination. And so don't take everything you read on Glassdoor with a grain of salt. Occasionally, the HR is not allowed to do this, but occasionally HR will prompt its employees to be like, hey, go give us honest feedback to what you think. And so all the data on there is anonymous. You can choose to put your position, how long you've been working there or not. But sometimes companies will prompt employees to be like, please go leave an honest review. Like, they can't tell you to leave a positive review. They just say leave an honest review, and then they can basically hold that carrot on a stick in front of you and be like, all right, well, if you leave the review, then come get your free $5 Amazon gift card for participating. Like, the chances are that you're apt to leave a positive review if you know that you're going to get a $5 gift card, because that's what you're thinking about, not like all the times the company has like screwed you over, no? Like, maybe some people, but just keep all these in mind when you're looking at Glassdoor. The main thing that you can gain from this is the salary. Keep in mind it's a little bit inflated, and then keep in mind the interviews, so you can get the questions, people's experience, what to expect, who interviewed you, maybe if you want to avoid certain interviews or you know what to expect with certain people, so you know how to reply. Anyways, this is getting really long. I just want to say thank you to all the patrons I have. We have V. Laszlo, the Martin Fee, and all the other patrons that are supporting the channel. If you want, I think I have some cool perks. If you want to check it out, the link for that's in the description. I want to have you in the Discord because I want to tag you. I want you to ask me questions, or you can do it in the comments. The link for the Discord is in the description below. And if you want to see more videos like that, hit this little subscribe button, click the bell so you get notified. I would really appreciate that. And let's jump into Glassdoor here. Once you come to Glassdoor.com, you'll want to make an account, and when you log in, you'll see this screen. It just auto logs me, and I'm logged in with my email. Let's talk about salary here. So come up here to the middle. That little drop down, change it to salaries, put in your area, and then come over here and type in web developer. Go ahead and click search. And so we can see that web developer salaries in Salt Lake City, Utah are $71,109 a year, which is 20% below the national average, but it doesn't compensate for cost of living. So while this might be below national average, things or places that have a high national average are inflating the value when in reality, it costs like $4,000 a month for a 900 square foot apartment. You can come down here, scroll down, start looking at salaries by company. For salaries, T4. So there's 3 salaries reported as web developer. So what you can do is you can click on the actual company. So this is a furniture company. And then you can come over here to salaries. Let's talk about this interface for a second. You have the overview. And then you can see the little bit of about me. You can see the overall rating, 68% recommend to a friend, great company, positive outlook, approves of CEO. You can see anonymous, but current employee. This is the main overview page. If you want to see something specific, come up here to this top tab and you can click one of these. Let's go ahead and look at the salaries here. If you're not logged in and you haven't done at least one review of a company that you've worked for, then this will be locked and you'll be able to see a couple of them, but you can go do that for free whenever you want, and then it unlocks. So sales associate make $50K a year. Office associate, let's come down here, see if we can find web developer. So web developer is between 50 and 52K, and that looks to be on the upper end of what they're offering. So let's come over here and let's look at reviews and see how they're doing. And so you can sort by full-time, part-time. I think you can even do position. Yeah, so none of the web developers have left a job review or a company review. Yeah, so companies can't alter or do anything about these reviews. No room for growth. You get your discounts. Occasionally you'll see the HR lady will respond to these and be like, we're sorry that you're upset. Please contact us to further resolve these. Normal PR stuff. Thank you for your review. We appreciate your feedback. okay, well, who is this person? Social media online reputation manager. So be careful with that. They're just doing their best to protect themselves. There's not really a whole lot of tangible outcomes that I've ever seen happen from these responses. They want to have that engagement, like literally copy and paste. I'll make sure to pass this on to management. And so, this is a big company. You might get smaller companies that respond and be like, they might get a little personal with you and be like, yeah, I probably know who you are, but just give us a call if you're upset about this because XYZ. Obviously, they can't say that. They don't want to do that on the internet in like an open forum. But you can see the reviews here. You got positive people, you got negative people. Again, take everything with a grain of salt. Let's come over here to the interviews, commission sales, warehouse. Let's go to something a little bit more technical. So maybe Microsoft. Here we got 20,000 reviews, 7.6 jobs. Salaries, 46,000 people have reported their salaries. 7.6 thousand people have reported their interviews. Let's find something for computer programmer. Here we go. Accepted offer, easy interview. How much do you know about making websites? So this doesn't seem like the average type of interview. Maybe it was at it. Okay, so here's a real good example. Create a calculator for us. All right, so you can see 2 interviews. They asked mind puzzles, practical interview questions, didn't care what language. We can filter by like programmer, maybe. Junior programmer interview, didn't get an offer, said it was average difficulty, positive experience. Can you tell us about your programming experience? Can you tell us the most important programming task that you've ever... So these are pretty HR questions. HR process took 1 day, but he didn't get an offer, so it might have been 2 days. Wear appropriate clothing. So you can just come in here and you can get like a good idea for the company. Most companies are on here and you'll find interviews, and then let's look at their salaries. Like, do they pay well? Software development engineer. The average salary is 103, but you can look at the range here. So it's between the lowest salary someone has reported, 76,000, and the highest salary someone has reported, 153, and then this is the average here between all those. So Microsoft looks like it's paying pretty well into the 6 figures. So software development monthly intern, 7,000 a month. It's like 75K a year. You can also check out the benefits. If we come up here, we can look at paid vacation, health insurance, employee discount. That's pretty sweet. You can see people's reporting thing, and you can also apply to jobs on LinkedIn. So again, come up here, change the middle one to jobs, and then come up here to web developer. I haven't had much success. I did this in my other video, applying to jobs I don't feel comfortable for, but haven't had much success actually applying. But regardless, you can still apply to jobs, and you can still sort by the date posted. Let's sort by the last day, web developer. Okay, so there's a lot of new stuff going on. Salary range, application type, easy apply. So easy apply is like through Glassdoor itself. You click OK. So if you click apply here, it'll either take you to their website or it'll pop up a little modal, and then you can apply through that little modal, kind of like you do on Stack Overflow. There's not a whole lot of filters in regards to the job search. Like, you can't sort by visa, you can't sort by remote, you can only sort by type of job types. And let me just reiterate here, if you change job type to entry level or you search by junior, you're doing yourself a disservice. Apply to the real deal and then negotiate when you can get in contact with someone, or you can get communication with someone. I know I say that all the time. But this is Glassdoor. This is the overview. Know your worth. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I know that you can come in here and you can definitely check out the salaries of the company, and then you can definitely check out the salaries of the places around you. So when you're negotiating on the table or in the negotiation room, when you get that offer, normally they just send you a paper, right? And you just call them and you're like, hey, could we do this? What about this salary? And they'll be like, well, yes or no. Just remember, ask for something not too ridiculous, but more than you want, because it's like a pawn shop. If you've ever seen Pawn Stars, you're gonna, it's that negotiation. They just want the best bang for your buck. And once you accept the salary that they give you, it's gonna be real hard to negotiate ever again. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to wait for a raise and really prove yourself. So go ahead and try to get that raise before you accept the job, So that's Glassdoor. It's a pretty great way to prepare for interviews. You can see salaries in your area. You can see salaries at the company. You can see reviews. If maybe you thought this was your dream job and you look at the jobs and they're like, they just laid off 35% of the workforce, and you're like, well, but what company's gonna put that on the actual application, So this is a great way to get an overview. As far as like the job services, applying to jobs, I haven't had much luck with it. I don't normally use this website to apply. This is just where I do my research. So when I'm writing my cover letter, I come in here, look at the interview, see what they want to hear, make sure to input that information into the cover letter. and then just go from there. So that's how this works. I hope this video has been helpful. If you want to see more of these, just go ahead and click that subscribe button. This was a video that was on my Trello board. If you want to check that out, the link for the Trello board, you can see my daily video ideas, the video series that I'm doing, and then join the Discord so you can prompt me for new ideas. And then again, I have a Patreon if you want to support the channel, because I love helping you guys out, and I love making these videos for you guys. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video.